Then, for the story to tell, you must know a bit of my past.
Oh, yeah?
I once was technically an investigator, paranormal investigator, for 2 years. First under the tutelage of another person, but when he kind of stepped down for a while, I sort of took on the role of the formal investigator for about a year. And
Well,
then
what
that
kind of investigations are we talking about here?
anything paranormal in nature, such as strange occurrences, rumors going around, or just in general, we hear something strange going on somewhere. Like, our
And
normal cases are we hear like something strange or we hear some phenomenon that's happening to somebody. Usually it's a lot of nothing, but occasionally we get something really interesting.
so ghost hunting.
Yeah.
Nice. Interesting.
Now, a little terminology is we have or technically three types of case. We have what we call dud cases, which is basically nothing at all happens on that night. We have what's called a construct case, which is basically a type of, not an entity, but a thing that is causing mischief around the place. We call that a construct event. And then we have what we call the entity case, which is the worst type of case we can possibly get, because that means it's no longer just a construct that's floating around with its own programmable mission. It's actually something a bit dangerous and actually has its own will to it, so we have to really figure out what to do.
What is the entity?
Entity could be literally anything. That's the problem with entities cases, is they could be literally anything. It could be anywhere from a little ghost of some kind, what we call the death state, a shade, or even a demon.
So why are you telling me this?
For the story will make sense then. Alright.
Okay.
This was about, I want to say, 5 to 6 years ago with me and my buddy here. Now the case involves one person who uses technology, the other one is a psychic. That's how this cases usually work, and we have to get our both cases on what is going on. One with technology, one using psychic abilities of sorts.
So the skeptic and the psychic.
Yes, and they butt heads constantly because they're always debating what's actually going on around there. But now
Typical ghost hunters.
Now we get paid for this case. It's about a $30 case, $35, $30 case. That we're going to be paid for by this couple here looking into their house, who's apparently, they say it's haunted. Now, what they were saying was strange things happening, such as things going off the walls, they're being hit with things, they keep hearing strange noises at night. The usual stuff, really. And so we thought about, if they can leave for a day or two while we investigate, we'll figure out what's going on, maybe exercise something at the same time, and have the couple basically have a normal home again.
Alright, sounds like a plan.
Immediately I'm thinking to myself, this is a construct case and not just something they're spooked about, like something happening or like an animal doing something. At worst, it's a construct case where maybe some weirdo made some construct that's floating around doing random biz. Picked up some negative energy. And
kind of scared.
So we investigate one night, and this is only 2 nights we have to figure this out. We use, I think it was the EEG or FEG, I forget what it's called, that radar,
What detects the ectoplasm?
Essentially, it detects the energy in the air and see if it's spiking at normal proportions or not.
Okay.
As I'm not very familiar with technology, but he was my buddy who was very close in knit with this sort of thing. I was the psychic of sorts who had sensitivities to things. Immediately, I can tell something is not right here. This feels awful. He's like, you know what? I think for the first time, I can probably agree with you. My thing's going off the charts right now. Like, we try to figure out where the spikes are going at the most. It's like, it's in the living room. It's like, it's getting closer. We check the garage. I've never heard this thing spike up more than we were in that garage. It started dinging at us. And to tell you how bad that was, I've never heard this thing ding.
Okay,
and so things are already going bad. And so we thought to ourselves, okay, this is no longer a construct case because it would only spike about halfway. If it's fully, that means it's an entity of some kind, and so we're actually in the deep end right now. We've never had an entity case before because, frankly, we never had to deal with one before. It was never really an option, usually. It was always either, it was just something that happened one day, the wind, an animal, or even a construct, like someone was in a bad mood and created a construct with their negative energy. This was something else entirely, and did not want us there. It obviously did not want us there, and so we ran the spirit box.
I've heard of the spirit box.
And the spirit box you may know of is to try to communicate with an entity of sorts. He used a spirit box, and I would use my own sort of techniques to contact this being of sorts. And so he used the spirit box. He's in the other room, and I'm in the garage currently, meditating and trying to figure out what to do exactly. And he's like, Kyo, get in here. I thought, oh no. He's in the living room currently, I'm in the garage. I hear him. I walk in there, and I ask him what's wrong. And to my horror, he said the one thing I was hoping he would never say.
Oh no,
I didn't say anything.
Oh god.
I thought to myself, you didn't say anything. He's like, no, what's going on? He's still trying to contact this being, and he's having no luck, and I just heard something. This is before psychosis, so this is obviously not me at the moment. I'm thinking to myself, okay. So, it's made contact, and it can speak, and it can throw voices. No. This is bad.
And it can speak not through the spirit box, it can speak so that you can hear it.
The worst part is, only sensitive people can hear this so far, because what we call the non-people, which is non-sensitive people, have a hard time hearing it, and it just sounds muffled, or it may be something else. But for sensitive people, they can hear it clearly, clear as day. And as a somewhat psychic, you have to imagine this is terrifying.
Yeah.
And so I meditate in the garage and try to contact this being, essentially. And I figure out something about this being when I was trying to contact it. I felt this rush of emotions from it, feelings from it. It was not friendly, and it wanted something.
Oh no.
It was attached to somebody in the home who was no longer there, but trapped there.
Which
means it's after somebody of sorts. Not to kill them, but I don't know what its intentions really were. And then my friend finally, and this is truly him this time, says, Kia, we got something. We hear the spike of energy in the room again. It's kind of going bananas here. It's currently trying in the room with us, in that specific living room with us. So I'm thinking to myself, this is real bad. We have to either exercise it, or this place is...
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a good idea, the spirit or whatever it is around this place, because it wants something from this couple. And so I get to the point where I found I was like, dude, this is a serious case. This is no joke. This is actually something here. Because this equipment's going all crazy, and we start seeing things. Literally seeing things now. We see things like we hear the door shut or something and open up again. Like, things are going crazy now.
So it's a poltergeist.
It kind of is. We don't know exactly what this thing is, but it is not good. And so I thought to myself, okay. I've never done this before, because frankly, I've never had a chance to do it before. We need to exercise it immediately. We have to figure out where this thing is located around exactly. Not like maybe it's over here, the spiking of energy. We try to find out where it's spiking the most. And so we eventually find the spirit of some kind. It's right there in the room over the corner there. It's looking at us. I don't know for certain, but I think it's looking at us. And as the energy meter is just like rapidly going around, the dials going da 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 da. I was like, it's there. It's right there. I try to use whatever I can to exercise the spirit, and it's not going without a fight. I actually get hit with something.
No. Oh god, like an energy blast?
Not an energy blast. It was literally like a physical object hit me in the back of the head. Before I know it, I'm out. I don't know what's going on as I actually black out at that point in time. My friend's literally dragging me out of the room because things just got so bad. He's like, okay, this is not good. He's dragging me out as I'm passed out on the floor. I wake up later on and I ask him, dude, what happened? Like, you will not believe me. Something came out and hit you over the head, knocked you out. And at this point, it's not after me, but it's after you. I thought, why isn't it after me? And I realized, wait a minute, I'm sensitive to sort of things. It's probably like thinking I'm a threat of some kind, because I'm the one there can exercise it. My friend can't do anything. He can't even feel anything. He just sees this random thing that flies from the darkness and hits me over the head. He's scared out of his mind. He doesn't know what to do. I think to myself, dude, we have one more option. Exercise it right now, or else we cannot, in good conscience, let this couple come back here. So eventually, I get down to business and finally start to exercise the spirit, and it's not happy. There are saints all over the place. Like, we hear things. It's so creepy things we hear. It's like whispering things. It's I've never seen this before. Where it's like, You're not gonna do this. You're not gonna fail me. You're gonna fail me. I've never had this happen before in my entire years of investigation, so I thought to myself, this is absolutely awful. We eventually do successfully exorcise the spirit after what seems like hours of this going on. And finally, I feel nothing. It feels not peaceful, but at better peace than it has all night. The energy meter starts going down, slowly but surely, as the energy is slowly dissipating from the area. We finally see it our case.
Well,
Both a sigh of relief. We're like, oh, thank God. That was not worth it. Eventually,
so what was it?
we're not entirely sure exactly what that thing was, but it was either like a demon of some kind or a poltergeist. It was absolutely not friendly. I've never seen anything quite like it before, because usually in my case they're either just random nonsense or a construct of some kind. But this was a full-on entity.
Oh, jeez.
We had talked to the couple and explained to them what some of what happened last night, and they were absolutely terrified of what we were saying. But we assured them it was fine now. Whatever was there was haunting one of them. No more now. It's gone. And thankfully, a few weeks later, we hear that they're actually doing quite well now. Actually, more than well. For some reason, they feel a lot better in their home than they used to, because apparently they were sick there for a while.
It was probably draining their energy.
Possibly. We don't know for certain, but yeah, they felt much better now, and they're safe in their own home, so we did a good job that day.
Well done.
Soon enough, my friend just kind of disbanded the group, because after that last scare, he thought he had enough of things, the paranormal. I don't blame him either.
I would too.
After that, I decided, should I keep going as a solo, like, psychic investigator or something? But then if there's no one else there with the technology to back me up, who would really believe me? So I called it quits after that and disbanded the whole investigation terminal after 2 years. And
Wow.
that was the final case of Kyoko's investigation.
Sounds like you need to start it back up again.
Sometimes it feels like that.
Exactly. So, okay, I don't know if I want to even ask this because it might ruin the whole story of it. But was that story based on true events?
It was. It happened a long time ago.
Oh my god.
I really was like a psychic investigator. That was a real part of me for a couple years.
Alright, so did you like post these ads on Craigslist of like psychic investigators?
I did 8 jobs. 3 of them were for just reputation gain, essentially like free jobs. I did just gain reputation. Then I did another 5, which were paid for.
Wow. That's
Now,
insane.
the rates were very low because, frankly, it was a private investigator, so I didn't really get paid very much for the job. It's just kind of a part-time job more than anything else.
Yeah, well, it's also like you're getting paid in the experience of.
Definitely. That's mainly what it was for. It was for the experience.
Yeah, that's.
But out of all my jobs, none were as scary as that one because I had to actually exercise the spirit for the first time.
That's
I
terrifying.
was the only one there who possibly could.
That would freak me out beyond belief.
It did me when I actually passed out at some point. I think I hit on the head with something or something made me pass out and I had to be dragged out of the room.